Today we are diving deep into a really important report from Bob Slavic over at Virtualization Options LLC. We're going to unpack his insights into one of the single biggest challenges facing us in cybersecurity today, the rise of AI-driven attacks, and more importantly, what we can actually do to fight back.
You know, it really does sound like something straight out of a movie, doesn't it? But here's the thing. This isn't science fiction anymore. This is the new battlefield for cybersecurity. It's a world where our opponents aren't just simple lines of code, they're intelligent, adaptive systems literally designed to outthink our best defenses. So let's get into it.
All right, first things first, we have to really wrap our heads around what we're up against. And let me be clear, this is not just the next version of some old virus. We're talking about a completely different kind of enemy.
So what is an AI-powered cyber attack? Well, at its core, it's an attack that uses machine learning to do all the heavy lifting. It can scan a network for the tiniest crack, tailor an attack for one specific person, and then, get this, it can change its entire strategy on the fly the second it runs into a roadblock. That makes them incredibly difficult to catch with our old-school tools.
So what makes these attacks so dangerous? Well, for one, they are just incredibly sophisticated. We are talking about advanced machine learning, deep learning algorithms. These things can find and exploit weaknesses with a speed and a precision that, honestly, no human team could ever hope to match.
Second, it's all automated. An AI can just churn through mountains of public data, social media profiles, company websites, you name it, to find the perfect person to target. Then it can create a personalized phishing email that looks so real it's almost impossible to tell it's a fake. It's this kind of custom-tailored attack, but done on a massive, automated scale.
And that brings us to the last point. They are terrifyingly scalable. A single AI-powered campaign can go after thousands, even tens of thousands of organizations all at once. It just completely overwhelms traditional security systems that were built to handle maybe one or two threats at a time.
So when you're facing a threat this new and this different, it means our old ways of thinking about security just aren't going to cut it anymore. The armor that we've been relying on for decades, it's starting to crack. And this slide really just lays it all out, doesn't it? It shows the total mismatch. Think about it. Traditional security was like building a big wall around your castle, right? It assumed the bad guys were on the outside. But AI attacks, they're like ghosts. They slip right through the cracks, or they start from inside the walls. Our old alarm systems are looking for known fingerprints, but these attacks are shapeshifters. They have no fingerprint, and they move at machine speed while we're stuck trying to react manually. It's just not a fair fight. So, what's the solution? Well, the report from Virtualization Options really champions this strategy called defense in depth. And that castle analogy? It's perfect here. Instead of just one big wall, think of a real medieval castle. It has a moat, then it has high walls, then watchtowers, then guards at every gate, then locked doors inside. The idea is that if an attacker gets past one layer, there are still 5 more waiting to stop them. It's all about building resilience through layers.
Okay, so let's get practical. How does an organization actually build this multi-layered fortress? Well, it all starts with some really solid fundamental IT management.
These right here are the foundational pillars of your defense. Now, some of this might seem basic, like multi-factor authentication or MFA, but trust me, in a world of AI attacks, getting the basics absolutely perfect is what separates the winners from the losers. It's all about creating as many hurdles for the attacker as you possibly can. Let's just zoom in on access controls for a second, because this is so critical. The key idea here is the principle of least privilege. It sounds fancy, but it's super simple. Nobody should have access to any data or any system that they don't absolutely need to do their job, period. Why? Because that dramatically shrinks the amount of damage an attacker can do if they manage to steal someone's password. It puts the breach in a tiny little box.
But look, all the technology and all the policies in the world are only half the story, because the most advanced defense system on the planet can be brought down by one person making one bad click. And that is where every single one of us comes in. You are the human firewall.
And that's a real question we all have to ask ourselves. Because these AI-powered phishing emails, they are getting scary good. The attacker knows your name, your job, who your boss is. They can write an email that looks 100% legitimate. So when that email lands in your inbox, are you ready to spot the trap?
These right here, these are your personal defense tools. They are simple, everyday habits that can literally stop a multi-million-dollar attack cold. Just hovering your mouse over a link before you click, being just a little bit suspicious of those urgent requests for information, using a password manager, these aren't just good ideas. They are absolutely critical defense mechanisms.
So what happens if you click something and you think something's wrong? You know, the absolute worst thing you can do is keep quiet because you're embarrassed or try to fix it yourself. The name of the game is speed. Disconnect from the network if you can and immediately report it. Every single second counts when you're trying to contain a breach.
So we've covered the threat, we've covered the organizational defenses, and we've covered the human element. But the story doesn't end there, because it turns out the most powerful weapon we have to fight back against bad AI might just be good AI.
And this is just the brilliant other side of the coin. We can use our own AI to do things no human security team could ever dream of. It can watch the entire network 24/7, spot tiny little changes that signal an attack, and even rewrite the network's defenses in real time to block it. It learns what normal activity looks like so it can instantly flag when something or someone is acting strange.
This quote from the report really just says it all. There is no finish line in cybersecurity. You never win. It's a constant, never-ending process of learning, adapting your tools, training your people, and working together. The bad guys are always getting smarter, so we have to get smarter too.
And that leaves us with this really fascinating final question. As both the attackers and the defenders start using more and more powerful AI, we've entered a whole new kind of arms race. And it really makes you wonder, is the ultimate solution to this threat simply building a better, faster, and smarter AI on our side? I want to give a huge thank you again to Bob Slobik and Virtualization Options LLC for their incredible work here. Thanks for tuning in.